Welcome to the homestead. So Sarah and I have been wanting to add some more fresh food to our diet on a routine basis, and it's not quite spring yet. Got a few more weeks before we can start planting our winter crops, and we still have to put in the new raised bed. So to get us started, because it's still getting too cold at night for even winter crops to get started. So what we're going to do is going to build an indoor system. We've been doing some experimenting that hasn't worked out well. I want to try this experiment using this rack and 10-20 trays. And what this experiment will let us do is fine tune some stuff so we can be able to grow microgreens when I get the greenhouse built. That video is coming up soon. Plan on starting to work on it when I get this done. So anyway, this is just a shelf we had laying around, a little wire rack shelf. It's not the prettiest. It's starting to rust through in a lot of places. But if this works, we'll clean the rust off and paint it, make it look nicer. So the first thing we got to do for these 10-20 trays is we got to put a drain in them. We're going to have a pump that's going to pump water out of the 5-gallon bucket here, or this 5-gallon bucket, up into the top tray and then run through all the other trays. So the first thing we got to do is put our first drain in, and we're going to use CPVC because this is a really small system, and it's slightly smaller diameter than PVC, but we have it. Use what you got. So I want to cut a little hole in here, so we're just going to take, and I want to put this on one end, and then, so these trays, they have these grooves in them where the water will set and keep the seeds moist without them setting in water. So I want to take this center rib here that's taller, and we're going to cut a hole through there. That'll work out well for the size of the fitting. So we'll just take our silver Sharpie, draw our circle, and then I'm going to cut just inside the circle so we can make adjustments as we go. I'd prefer to use my hot knife, but my hot knife broke and I need to order another one. Now we want to put the male threaded fitting up through the bottom, and then put the female on top. That way the bottom of this will keep it from pulling through. It'll act like a little stop. And there's a rubber gasket in here that normally keeps these from leaking, but that's not going to work for our purpose. We're going to have to put some silicone sealant in here, or else it'll leak underneath the fitting and run down the pipe and make a mess. But before we do that, we got one problem we got to fix. So the water level here, right now the way it works is the pipe will set the top of this fitting will set the water height, and that is way too high. We need it to be just off of the bottom here. So what we're going to do is take this apart again and cut through this top fitting, the female fitting. Let me show you what that looks like and how that works. The original plan of just coming up like a 1/16 of an inch here and cutting a slit and isn't going to work, because that'll leave the groove in the tray plus that 1/16 of an inch. So what I did is, let me see if I can find the right, as I dremelled through 2/3 of this fitting and then cut a slit in the male half. That male half one might have to be widened up. Well, let's see how well this works here. Now, mind you, we're not leveled out or anything. Alright, we're definitely going to have to make that slit in the male one wider. The surface tension of the water isn't allowing it to come through. So let's take this apart and try again. So that's the slit I cut in with the hacksaw. I think I need to come up one more thread and cut through there, and I'm going to use the Dremel tool. I think that'll give me a better finish too. That looks a lot better, like it'll actually let water through. Let's put it back together and see what happens. Let's try that again. I think we're actually draining this time and not just leaking around the edges. Now we're going to take this 100% silicone and use that to waterproof things. Apparently I've never used this one. Now we want to avoid water or siliconing the hole shut, but we want to get silicone around the backside. Hold on. This stick down to make a little applicator. Let's see if that'll work, or if I even need it. It seems to be going back there and filling in the gap pretty nice. There we go. Let's let that dry. I'm going to get ready for my weekly live stream while that dries, and we'll try this again in a minute. This is one of the seed starting mats. It's a reusable one I got for fits the 1020 trays, but when you first start sprouting the seed, you should have a little bit of weight on it. So to get that weight, I'm taking this thin piece of plywood. It's a scrap piece, and I traced out the grow mat, so we're going to cut it out. And we're going to cut it out using this little folding saw. I keep it in my toolkit. I'll put a link in the description. It's great because it has the cross cut and rip on both sides. And we're just using the sawhorses here. This wood is for the raised bed garden we're working on. So that video is coming out soon too. Temporarily, we put the microgreens sprouting system here at the end of the kitchen island, and it's working really well. So I had to put a piece of cardboard underneath the high end of each side, so the end opposite of the drain, and I did that for all 3 levels, and the water pours through here pretty nicely. So let's take, oh, and I got these, I'll put a link to it. They're reusable seed starting mats. I got that pre-soaked. So let's take some chia seed and sprinkle it out on here. I'm not exactly sure how much we should use, since I've never done this before. Try to spread it out some. Get a nice even layer. I think that's good. So this is a 3/4 cup. We used about half of that. So, or whatever half of 3/4 is. I don't do math on camera. Anyway, the next step is we put this on there. And then we'll keep this wet over the next few days, and we'll see how well this does. And I'll make a follow-up video in a few days, hopefully, showing how well these have sprouted. So if you want to follow me more, if you want to see how this whole system turns out, you know, do the like, follow, subscribe, all that stuff, you know the deal. And you can also follow me on Telegram at t.me/prepare-to-prosper. And I'll do an update on this on there too as it grows. So remember, we prepare today so we can prosper tomorrow.